Hello. So it all started, well, a couple of years ago when James cleverly said he hoped to close Wethersfield Asylum Centre as soon as he can. Now, Wethersfield Asylum Centre was actually RAF Wethersfield. It was an RAF base, but since the Conservative government had stripped down our defensive capability to what amounts to a couple of old calculators and a rubber band, they had nothing better to do with RAF Wethersfield than to house a lot of foreign criminals there. And I'm saying foreign criminals because an illegal migrant, however nice he may be, and it's going to be a he, isn't it? However nice he may be, an illegal migrant is illegal. That means a criminal. And some of those people are real criminals. I mean, like wanted for murder in other parts of Europe. So, foreign criminals. That's what Wethersfield has been turned into, a large open prison where the prisoners are allowed to go out and wander around among the local population. In this case, a little place in Essex. It was relatively small, and now Keir Starmer is going to make it bigger. I'm sure the local residents are quite pleased about that. It increases the diversity of the area. At one point it said that a Labour politician during a cabinet meeting talked about increasing migrants in order to rub the right noses in diversity. They're rubbing a lot more than noses in this, aren't they? I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video. As unpleasant as the subject is, please share it. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you want to help me financially, you can do so. It would be very nice. All the links to the various methods are in the description, but really sharing the video probably does this channel a lot more good. All right, let's get on with it. So James cleverly has said he hopes to close down the controversial mass accommodation centre in Wethersfield as soon as practicable, which means never. That's politician speak for never. Wethersfield, most recently used by Ministry of Defence Police, is the Home Office's largest mass accommodation site in the UK for people seeking asylum, foreign criminals, with several hundred people accommodated there. It's located in the new Home Secretary's Braintree constituency, and before he took up the post, cleverly expressed the opposition to use of the site, saying it wasn't appropriate for asylum accommodation. It always struck me as a little amusing that somebody with a second name of Cleverly is representing a constituency called Braintree. I wonder if anyone thought, well, we've got to elect him because it fits so well. Initially, Home Office officials said they were only planning to use the site for a short period of time. Home Office officials said they were planning to use the site only for a short period of time. I do get annoyed by the Telegraph's sloppy grammar because, if it's the Daily Mail, I sort of criticise it, but I don't get annoyed. But the Telegraph is supposed to be better than that. Okay, let's see. So that's what happened. RAF Wethersfield site, who had been used by the police, and probably the locals were quite happy about that, and then it was turned over to use by migrants, many of whom do not have the attitudes to how you act in public spaces, especially when there are women around. They don't have the same attitude as the locals. Okay, so as soon as practical practicable didn't really turn up before Cleverly and the rest of the lying Conservatives were booted out of office. I'm sorry, I was a Conservative. But they lie and lie and lie. Now, quite frankly, they don't lie quite as much as the Labour Party, but they've done pretty well on this, haven't they? All right, so, Cleverly said as soon as practicable, and then they were voted out of office by an even bigger liar. Here is Keir Starmer, who said in 1st of July 2024 that Labour would shut down asylum seeker sites such as RAF Wethersfield. This is, remember, July the 1st. That is 3 days before the general election. OK? Actually, it didn't work in this case. I think Keir Starmer said he'd shut it down and the locals would vote for a Labour candidate. But they didn't. They voted for Cleverly anyway. However, it did actually make an announcement that other people in other parts of Britain, beleaguered by such places, would be seeing and thinking, well, maybe he's going to do better. Sir Keir Starmer says Labour would shut down a controversial asylum seeker centre at a former RAF base. I do think Wethersfield needs to close, said Sir Keir. Well, that's what he said. When pressed by ITV News Anglia on when it would close, Sir Keir said, I'm not going to put an arbitrary date on it. OK, so there you are, as soon as is practicable. But I do know how keenly this is felt locally, and understandably so. I want to ensure that we actually deal with all of these cases rather than having increasing numbers of people in hotels paid for by the taxpayers. So I can absolutely understand why people are frustrated and angry with the government for the way this has been allowed to get completely out of hand. RAF Wethersfield accommodates around 580 men, most of whom have come to the UK on small boats. That is, illegal migrants, foreign criminals. All right, next along. And this is on the Bishop Stortford Independent. Again, it's reader view because when I take the web page, I just get, give me a sample of your blood and then you can register yourself. So this is from the 29th of July 2025, just a little over a year later. Home Office plans to house 1,245 asylum seekers on Uttlesford border. Now, let's just go back to that. RAF Wethersfield accommodates around 580 men, and most of whom have come to the UK on small boats. Home Office plans to house 1,245 asylum seekers, so that's over double. The government has plans to temporarily house up to 445 extra asylum seekers. Temporarily. That's very similar to this here. The Home Office officials said they were only planning to... They were planning to use the site only for a short period of time, that is, temporarily. Well, this is 3 years later, is it not? And that temporarily is still there. In fact, there are temporarily going to be 445 extra asylum seekers at the Centre for Migrants, illegal foreign criminals. And here we have... in the Telegraph, migrant camp Labour vowed to shut will be expanded. OK, the Home... Oh, it's from 800, so it had gone up somewhat since that first article. The Home Office announced the number of asylum seekers housed on Wethersfield RAS base will increase from 800 to 1,225. And this is the camp. You see, it's got a sort of fence round it, but yeah... We all know what RAF fences are like, don't we? Let's see what else we have down here. James Cleverly, the shadow housing secretary whose constituency covers Wethersfield, urged ministers to shut it down. I was never happy that asylum seekers were held at Wethersfield, and while Home Secretary secured a cap on the number of asylum seekers there, well, we've only got his word for that. I remain opposed to any increase, he said. He said he was going to shut it down and he didn't. So when he says he managed to get a cap put on it, I'm a little suspicious. You will have to forgive me for being a cynical old woman. And then the last thing Priti Patel had to say about it is Labour's dishonesty, incompetence and lack of transparency is making this situation worse and encouraging more illegal migrants to come to Britain. Well, yeah, but not specifically to do with Wethersfield. And I thought you might be interested. I'm going to bring another page over here. My plan for change. Well, yeah, Keir Starmer has been doing a lot of changing, mostly of his mind or his word. This election is about change, a return to the foundations of good government, national security, secure borders, right, and economic stability. This was his plan for change. This was Keir Starmer's plan. Do you know, I can't bear to see that face. Let's get back to RAF Wethersfield. It's more attractive. And some solid people wearing union flags are being bullied by the police. It's really sad what's happened to the police. Oh yeah, here we are, RAF Wethersfield. RAF as was. All right, well, that's it. That's what I have to say. Yeah, Labour change. They're doing nothing but change. And changing their minds, as little minds as they have. All right, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.